Now it had been a very busy day in the forest, and Billy had got back to his nest, and he was feeling quite tired, and he settled down for the night and was soon fast asleep. But then he woke up because his nest seemed to be all of a tremble, and Billy realized that there was a storm brewing, and soon the nest was trembling so much that Billy was all shook up. Well, he knew that he'd have to hold on tight and weather the storm. Well, he survived through the night, but my word, it was a very, very fierce storm. By the next morning, of course, he was feeling quite rough. It had ruffled his feathers no end. So he went across to his neighbor, Tommy Thrush, to see if he was all right. "Are you all right, Tommy Thrush?" he said. "Well," said Tommy Thrush, I do feel a bit dazed, you know. What a storm it was. I'm barely alive." "Well," said Billy, "that must be the worst storm I've known for a long time. But the funny thing is, we didn't get any warning. No warning at all. You see, normally, when there was a storm brewing, and Dr. Owl, he knew the weather forecast, he would send Reggie Rook, the forest crier, around the forest to warn the birds, to tell them that the storm was coming and that they must hold on to their nests or go for shelter. He would fly through the forest crier. "Caw, caw, storm from the west, hold on to your nest, oh yay, oh yay." And he would fly through the forest giving this storm warning. But they didn't have any warning this time, and Billy thought that was strange, and it was such a storm. So he went to Dr. Owl to complain, and he said, "Dr. Owl, what happened? We had a terrible storm last night, and we didn't have any warning." I'm very sorry," said Dr. Owl. I am sorry, but I'm afraid Reggie Rook, he is now too old to be the forest crier. He finds it difficult to fly, and he's had to retire." "Retire?" said Billy. "Is that bad?" "Well, it means that he just is getting stiff, and it's time for him to rest." "Well," said Billy, "I thought birds fly until they die." Yes, some do," said Dr. Owl, "but others just fade away." "Well, what does Reggie Rook do all day long?" Said Dr. Owl, "he just sits, and he sleeps, and he remembers. His thoughts go back a long way." "Well, isn't there anything you can do for him?" "Well," said Dr. Owl, "I do try. I go to him twice a week and give him some of my turnip tonic." "Well, what does that do?" said Billy. "Well," said Dr. Owl with a wink, "Reggie thinks it does him good, and if he thinks it does him good, so it will." Well, Billy decided he'd go and visit Reggie Rook for old time's sake. He'd been a good servant to the forest, and Dr. Owl told Billy where to find him, that he'd come down from the rookery because he couldn't fly very well now, and he'd come down to earth, and Billy would find him in a hole at the roots of the old oak tree. So Billy went to find him, and when he got to the hole, he peeped in, and he said, "Hello! Anybody at home?" Come in, whoever you are." So Billy went into the hole and found in the darkness or the dim light Reggie Rook with a mossy blanket around his shoulders. "Oh, hello," said Billy. I'm Billy Blackbird, and I come to see how you are, to tell you we've missed you from the forest. "Especially in the storm last week," said Billy. "We didn't have any warning." "Oh," said Reggie Rook, "no, you wouldn't have had. I've had to retire, you see, but I remember. Dr. Owl used to tell me when a storm was coming, and yes, I would go through the forest. I would warn the birds that a storm was coming. I would shout at the top of my voice, 'Caw, caw, caw.' Many's the time I've got drenched before I got back home after I'd finished my job. I remember the great storm of '82, you know. Oh, that was a storm. It must have been force 9, I should think. A terrible storm. Did a lot of damage. But that will be before your time, I imagine." So Billy agreed he wasn't quite that old. "Oh, yes, a great storm," he said. "So many nests were blown down that time. So many birds were made homeless. Dr. Owl had to set up a rescue center to provide food and shelter for all the homeless birds. And Dozy Crow, he slept through it all. Would you believe it? Through the storm he slept." "Incredible," said Billy. "Well, he did," said Reggie Rook. "He slept through the storm. And do you know what he said the next morning when the birds asked him about the storm?" No, said Billy. What did he say?" "Well, the birds said, 'How do you get on in that storm last night?'" And Dozy Crow said, "What storm?" And all the birds, they fell about laughing. Oh, Dr. Owl was marvelous, though. Yes, he tended to all the birds' bruises and their damage, their injuries. He tended to them all. He was marvelous. Wonderful bird is Dr. Owl. And, well, it seems that he must be very old. Come to think of it, Dr. Owl must be very old, said Reggie. Older than I am, I should think. But he keeps very quiet about his age. That's a secret, you know. So Reggie went on and on and on, and Billy listened and said yes, and yes, yes. But at last he thought he must go, so he rose to go, and Reggie, Rook, said, "Well, I mustn't keep you. Thank you for coming, and you have done me good. Done me good. Do come again." "Can I bring you anything?" said Reggie. Said Billy, rather. "Can I bring you anything?" "Well," said Reggie, "just bring me your ears. It's good to go back and remember the old days. Wonderful memories. I've had a happy life, a good, happy life. And talking to you is better than talking to myself." Well, Billy agreed. And I'm sure we will all say, hear, hear, to that.